Ace your interview like a boss. The key thing is the mindset. It's all in the mind. Going into the interview, you need to go in there with a servanthood mindset, one in which you're ready to serve. There's a quote by Orison Swett Marden that says, "No matter how humble your work may seem, do it in the spirit of an artist, of a master. In this way, you lift it out of commonness and rob it of what would otherwise be drudgery." It's all in the mindset. You got to go in there with a mindset ready to serve, ready to deliver service to your potential employer. I wrote a book, Getting Rich in Project Management, How to Ace the Project Management Interview, and how to be an asset to yourself and your organization. And I'm going to be sharing with you a few things from that book. Let me also let you know I've got a link out here called Job Seekers Motivation, tinyurl.com/job motivation. I've got various MP3s there for you to listen to, and they're all free. But let's talk about the first step I've got for you today, and that is mind your language. Now, I'm not talking about the language you speak. I'm talking about the unseen language. Beware of what you are not telling, but what your body language is selling. Body language in interviews is huge. Body language can be used to decode what exactly you are not saying. And that can be easily decoded by an experienced interviewer. Non-verbal cues. There are many ways an experienced interviewer can tell if you are comfortable or if you are not uncomfortable, but in your element. It's all about subtleties like self-touch gestures, awkward glances to the top or down or to the left or right. These quickly give away an uncomfortable person in an interview. Telltale signs. You need to emote within reason. A lot of folks don't emote in an interview. Emotions show that you're human, and it also shows that you're not keeping your guard up and being robotic in your communication. The second tip, I spy with my little eye. In interviews, you need to maintain that eye contact. If you're going into an interview, be aware that the eyes are the gateway to the soul. People look into your eyes and they immediately know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, whether you are confident, comfortable, or not. People read your authenticity in the Western world quite a lot from these eye contact signs. So you want to make sure that the signs you're giving out from eye contact are congruent with your message. Now, you don't want to be overbearing. You want to keep it professional. You don't want to intimidate, but you do want to maintain an acceptable amount of eye contact. You want to project confidence and self-esteem, and this can be captured in how you maintain eye contact. Step 3, clear the air before you dare. What do I mean by this? You need to get your story straight. You need to clear the air of your resume. You need to keep all the stuffiness out. And by stuffiness, I'm not talking about being upper crusty. I'm talking about not knowing the details of your resume, not airing your resume before you get into the interview. You need to air your resume. You need to keep it fresh. You need to get your story straight. You need to rehearse your resume and unravel the relevant past. You need to be ready for references. Sometimes it could be one tiny little line in your resume or in what you said that makes an interviewer's ears perk up and they want to know more. You need to be ready to deliver that more. And you also need to decide where you will not intentionally go when talking about your resume or your previous experience. There are areas that you want to stay clear of because they could open up a can of worms, and only you knows what that is for you. You want to know every nook and cranny of your story. Whatever needs to be perfected, whatever needs to be clarified in your resume, do it. And that takes us to step 4, rehearse your elevator pitch. You need to practice the art of selling you. In an interview, you want to make sure that you sell yourself. Sell yourself not like a madman, but you want to sell yourself like someone who is truly convinced that they can offer value to the firm that they're in. What is your selling proposition? What do you bring to the table? What makes you unique? If you cannot tell me straight off what makes you unique, you do not have your selling proposition down and you have not crafted a blanket pitch. And you need to work on this. You need to tailor the pitch to the opportunity. Tweak the pitch. You also want to make sure that you connect. Don't just communicate. Don't just speak. But you want to connect to the heart of that interviewer. You want to make sure that you are resonating with the interviewer. You're meeting their needs in that interview. They're looking for something. Are you able to give them that something they're looking for? Practice selling you. Let's talk about projecting confidence. Projecting confidence is key in interviews. You see, Don Griffith, he said, the closest most people come to perfection is when they fill out a job application. The other side of the story is when you put that person in front of the interviewer. Are they going to project what's on the resume? Have you ever had interviews where you fell short of what was on the resume? It's probably because you did not project enough confidence. How do you get confident? You don't get confident by suddenly appearing in an interview and being confident. You get confident by practice. Practice makes perfect. So you want to practice the art of interviewing in front of a mirror. Go for interviews. Back in the day when I used to go for several interviews, I went for lots of those interviews because it gave me the opportunity to practice. You also want to use friends and family as a vehicle for practice. If you need coaching, find a coach who can coach you in the art of interviewing. Next, you want to get good. John Maxwell says all great speakers were bad speakers first. You got to wake up and smell the coffee. You might be a bad interviewer or interviewee, depending on what side of the table you are. But if you are being interviewed, you need to practice the art of answering questions. If you're interviewing someone, practice the art of asking great questions. One of the people who asks great questions is Larry King. It shows that he has done his homework. So if you are being interviewed, do your homework. If you're interviewing, do your homework. Even if you're being interviewed, asking great questions shows insights. So you want to practice your craft and you want to perfect your art. Not just the art of being interviewed, but also your craft, whatever that is. If you're a project manager, make sure you know what the craft is all about. In fact, perhaps you shouldn't even be in the interview if you don't know what your craft is all about, because you will be found out. And I'll be the first to raise my hand to tell you about a very unsuccessful job interview I went for in Scottsdale, Arizona at DHL, where I fell flat with a resounding thud. How did I fall flat? I didn't know the details of my craft and my art. I had been to school and studied some project management. I had used project management, but in an unorthodox and non-academic manner for many years. I did not know the standard tools. I did not know the standard templates and concepts. So when I went into the interview, what happened? I fell flat. I gave answers that was so ridiculously out of context, it's laughable looking back. But now I know better. Going in for any interview, you want to know the technicalities of the profession and you want to know your art. If you're looking for training, coaching, and mentoring for your interview, you can visit pmsucceed.com. I offer one-on-one training, coaching, and mentoring. I'll leave you with a quote from the famous Robert Half. Job applicants do not always act in their own best interest. So I urge you to act in your own best interest. Practice, practice, practice. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope that whatever your endeavors you're working on for the interview, I hope you ace it big time. Thank you, and bye for now.